So I've been keeping my Four Horsemen purchases pretty sparse, but this one is special. It's my favorite book of all time, and I know the original release kind of went for a skin tone that was attuned to the book. I think it was a big failure. I do think this green one looks a lot better. Much like the Headless Horseman, the re-release is better looking. And well, that's why I got it, because it is just cool. So, let's crack all this stuff out of the box and see what we got. Okay, to say that's a lot of shit is a little bit of an understatement. This might take a bit to go through it all. But, we'll try. Alright, so you get feet, then you swap out, and the kind of loincloth thing. It took me a bit, but I realized that the pants are actually cloth. So, you can dress your dolly up. Straps for the table. This alternate head. This alternate head. This head, yeah, I'm confused there than a skull, which is alright. These hands. This contraption, which I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do with this, maybe generate electrical current, I don't know. I'm thinking these are for the skull and the other head. Not positive on that. There's two of these. There's of course the table, and that came in pieces and you can't lower it. It's really a shame too, because with Four Horsemen stuff, it's all been so fragile, at times you're afraid to mess with it. You got chains and cuffs here for Frankenstein, a skeletal hand. Let's see what else. Okay. These little bottles, it could be anything. You got about 3 of those. You have several books, and I wondered if one might be Frankenstein's journal. I mean, they don't open or anything, so I don't know if we can get any information out of them. You have the figure with his coat and signature pants and long ass hair. Yes, the monster grew his hair out because, well, he did. When he was first created, he was more like this, and then grew his hair out because it was like I believe it's a couple of years before he runs into Frankenstein again. But anyway, and of course this backdrop here, which is the magnetic front that comes off the package, reflecting the sinister storm of the night that the monster was born. So overall, I dig that, you know, they went to the trouble of stitching up the coat. That's a cool idea. It's a real patchwork thing, just like the guy himself. That makes it even better. That's nice. Overall, I do think I like the set. It's got a lot of stuff with it. It's got some interesting stuff with stuff you could use with this or with other figures. It's very versatile. You know. Now, of course, this is Four Horsemen. This has got single joints. Yay! Yay! Yeah, I mean, it's got single joints. Not that I expect Frankenstein's monster to do any Spider-Man poses or anything, but, you know, it's still single joints, which is disappointing, but, you know, is what it is. So, you know, you get upset like this, and it's like really, really fucking cool, and like, you know, you sit there and you're like, wow, this is nice, and then you think about that fandom, it's like, and, you know, I've heard things said about fandom that aren't true. It's like, you know, we hear it all the time, but, you know, with this fandom there's literally no room for any kind of critique, and that's a damn shame, because this is a damn good set. I mean, this just shows when the Horsemen really put their minds to it, they can do something really, really good. But I also, you know, how long did people wait for that wave with the bear? 2.5 years? I mean, Jesus. That's... I think that's a terrible business practice to hold on to people's money for that long. I can't say I agree with it. But at the same time, you know, people are okay with it. I guess that, you know, who am I to judge? Still, I forgot to tell you about the book. There's a book with it. With the, looks like they went with the, still didn't recolor the book. I have to say, I didn't buy the first one because, I don't know, man. To me, it looks like the Frankenstein has jaundice there, or the creature has jaundice. I mean, it didn't look like the, and I know there is, it's yellow in the book, but it's like, it's a weird yellow. It's the description of it isn't like, you know, jaundice yellow. It's something else, and it's really hard to describe. I remember looking at it, just going, yeah, that's strange. And the book really never tries to go any further with it besides the weird description it gives his skin tone, and then moves on. I think the green just, you know, I think there's a reason we went with green, because in the movies, is because it just looks better. It's more sinister, more ominous, and I dare say more realistic. Don't ask me why, because I don't know any green people. I don't think that's ever been reported, but it just looks more natural. I mean, there is something to be said for visuals on a movie screen. You know, what is good in a book, it doesn't always translate well into a visual medium. And that's, you know, especially with how very complicated the description is, but also very vague. It's weird. It's one of the stranger descriptors ever, and I long ago gave up trying to figure it out. I really did. You're welcome to if you try. I don't think you can simplify what is being put down in the text. I do think this is a good set overall. It's, like I said, my favorite book of all time, and just really nice, really cool to have an action figure that is the creature, the real creature, not the Universal monster. Not that I hate the Universal monster. I like the Universal monster a great deal, but the Universal monster is not the creature from the book. It's not Adam. Some of you may get that. And you know, this is, you know, there's a scene in Kenneth Branagh's version of Frankenstein. This is what I think he should have been looking at in the farmhouse. Not Robert De Niro. Who actually, Robert De Niro did fine as the creature. It was strange to see him do a performance like that, but he did fine. And you know, I'm not going to knock his performance, but you know, at the same time, it's odd. Just odd, to say the least. And I've not seen Guillermo del Toro's yet. I really want to, because it looks like it's pretty freaking awesome, and tries to hold as much to the source book as to the source material as possible, which is, makes me go hurrah. But also has a nice Del Toro flair to it. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that at some point. Anywho, there's not much else I can say besides, you know, a lot of great stuff that you can use. I know some people said they're going to use it for buy it and use this stuff and use it for Mindbender's Lab. I'm like, okay, whatever. Me, I will probably, you know, eventually put all this out and have it with, and then have the Jada Frankenstein right beside him, and just be like, hey, how you doing? And then the Headless Horseman over here, you know, right over there. That's kind of how I roll. Then I'll put She-Ra right beside the Headless Horseman. That'll work. Why not? Okay, so that, I think, will wrap up things for today. I mean, it's been, you know, it's a really cool figure. You know, I like it, and though I'm thinking about shutting the door on modern collecting, I see things like this and I go, we'll hold on a little while longer to a couple of lines and, you know, see what they have to offer and then decide for myself. But either way, alright, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Help the algorithm, and I don't know what the former Vice President of the United States has to do with you know, that, but anyway. Oh, algorithm, not algorithm. Never mind. Take care, guys.